Hey, good morning. I'm actually doing this today earlier because I need to decompress. Just had a stand up over here and I got things to do today. It's a New Year's, Chinese New Year today. I think it's today or tomorrow. And, I'm going to go celebrate that with dear friends. I got invited to a party, so I'm going to have to go do that. But, Austin at this time of the year is great because it's 55 degrees. If you're watching this from anywhere else, like, Asia or something, Europe, Austin is a great place if you can survive the summer. If you ever come here and then like you get here in June and you go, oh, great, I'm gonna have some heat, you're gonna hate it. Okay, it's even worse in Houston, but Austin is not as bad as Houston, but it's pretty bad. So this time of the year, we're actually very happy to get out. It's actually, I'm kind of looking forward to go to the Capitol Factory. There's a swimming pool up on top and hang out on the 16th floor. That's always a blessing to have that kind of access. So today I wanted to kind of touch on, if you knew somewhere, like, do you have a long-term strategy plan? So the first thing you really need to do is just make sure that you're actually accepted as somebody that knows what they're doing, right? So if you have any questions, sorry, I didn't mean to jump to that particular slide here. We want to go back to this one here and I'm going to pause it on that. So, long-term strategy plan, right? You show up your first day, and then what is it that you need, right? So you should ask those questions because you're going to impress people immediately. From what I've seen, when new people start, it takes them like 2 or 3 weeks, and then they suddenly realize that they need access to a database. You got hired as an engineer. You better you better have an access to or know that you will be talking to a database at some point through PG admin or Toad or some sort of a client that allows you to run SQL queries, especially if you're an engineer. So on your first day, it's like ask for your access to things, ask for access to ADO, talk, who is the Scrum Master, find out who the application owners are, find out what the platform owners are, who is the person that will actually subscribe to the work that you're going to be doing, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be ITSM, it can be anything, right? And what that does is actually it shows you what team am I on is one thing that comes up in my mind. And if that team lead or manager or director, whoever you're working for, doesn't have these answers, you probably want to gently ask them, when did you start here? And if they say like 5 years ago, how come you don't know these things, right? How come you don't know where to point somebody? That means you're basically working in the company, you're working upwards only. You don't care about your people at all because you've managed no uh, access for them to, on day one. Like, what is it that I need to do? The frequently asked questions for that day should be readily available. So some companies actually do it. I think H&R Block was pretty good at that. I don't remember Charles Schwab at this point, but I was actually Charles Schwab was pretty good. I remember being welcomed by the director, and then he took me on a tour, so it was great. And like from day one, I had a great relationship. I knew what the guy wanted, and there was no ambiguity, and I knew that he was carrying both downwards and upwards. So he was in the position where you can say that that person is probably going to survive at that company for a long time. Well, it's not always the case. However, for you, if you don't get those answers, ask for a document to plan, or if there isn't one, you can volunteer and say, "Hey, I'm going to create a document because if anybody else is onboarded after me, they will have the same questions." And you, on your day one, you're actually in a perfect position to ask for questions. How do I get to a database again? My thing is be like, can I have a Linux instance that I can actually go run and then do my own work on that? And then you will immediately find out what the infrastructure is like at that company. If it takes you like a month to get something set up, you can probably like actually almost do nothing in that company because, making progress quickly will embarrass everybody and you will become everybody's enemy. So this is from another video that I was griping about. Is, understand who your support is, who's with you, and who's against you. So that resistance right there, is going to be if you start on your day one and you're super efficient. Well, you probably want to find out who the director is. At least find the tier where that the director is looking, at their people in a way who's performing and who isn't. Always take it personally when anything comes up that's related to your performance, okay? Even though if you like, let's say you're Elon Musk or Nikolai Tesla, you get hired on your first day, okay? And then you have huge skill set and so on, but you don't really know what the connections are. So your management is going to be in charge of that. So that actually, from experience, that happened to me in my previous company. Those guys had absolutely no idea what they were doing, but they were good at pretending. Okay, they were superb at pretending. I'm gonna put it that way. And in the end, because I was making them look bad, you're the one that ends up letting go. I'm sorry, my English is horrible today. You're the one that they end up letting go in the end because you basically make them look bad. And so I was turning out a whole bunch of work. So they would like constantly say, oh, well, we can't find it in ADO. Where's the work in ADO? And you put it in a different branch or something. They never used ADO before. I've been using it for like, what, 14 years now. And so I know where to go. I know I have to have a persona. As a matter of fact, like the future of a product should really begin. Like if I log in and I'm in ADO, it should recognize, oh, you're Daniel, you've been working on this, and you have these managers, and those managers actually have created these branches. Should you go over there and then create some new stories, tickets, ideas, features, epics, etc., etc.? That's the way modern, and I think it's probably going to happen within maybe, I would say, 1 year or maybe 2 years. Somebody at Microsoft will finally go, and there's a lot of smart people there, okay? They're just probably fighting management just like I am. And they will come up with a way to identify who you are. So your persona is this, you should be doing this, and you're working for these people. So look for those things on your day one, or it may not even be your day one. It may be like, you've been working there for 2 years, but now you got put in a different department. So when you get in that different department, everybody's gonna look at you as the spank boy, like, hey, what's it called? There's a TV radio station here in Austin called KLBJ, and they had this one guy that they were just basically beating up. It was the part of the morning show, Dale and Bob and Dale Dudley, I think it was is his name. And so they had this person and they were just kind of beating up. And I keep thinking of that, it's like when you're on your first day, or you get changed to a different group, you're gonna be that person that they're gonna be sending around giving, things that nobody else wants to do. And they know it will take you forever, so which means you will immediately be behind on things. So come in with a plan and then push that plan, make it your agenda. Don't be afraid. Somebody will notice. Whether it's going to be a good thing for you or not, I can't say. Some companies just exist because I call them the kindergarten companies. Okay, they have people that they know. They want to give them good income. Like it's like the mafia job, the no-show jobs for if you ever watch Sopranos, they'll do exactly the same thing. Like, oh well, we just want this one Johnny over here to make some money. He doesn't really know anything, but he's a son of my cousin over here, and the cousin, I need to be in a good standing with him because the grandfather that has billions of dollars is going to be giving us inheritance one day, and I want to make it uh, show that I am supportive of the family and I'm getting them more job. I don't know, but somehow, there's that one person in the group that nobody really knows what they're doing, but they're collecting the highest paycheck and they have lots of responsibility, but you never see them do anything. Those are the guys I'm talking about, okay? And they're permeating all the corporations of the United States. I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually globally, right? Maybe Japan and so on. Maybe China doesn't have it. I don't know. I've never really worked with anybody in China, but I'm going to say that if the book written by Karel Čapek called actually it was Kafka. I wrote the book Castle. I'm not sure if it was translated in English, but in that book, if you find that book, read it. If you're in a situation that I'm talking about, read that book, and maybe you'll feel better. Or just watch the movie Brazil. Okay, that's all I got for today. More tomorrow. See you guys, and do a good job because it's you on the line. And again, where is the stop button on this thing? There it is.